shit could get ugly.
Hey,
And
Joe, this off topic.
Off topic?
But off topic of the fires, but because...
I was taking a bullet, but I didn't think of it that way. But, yeah, it's I think the subject's beaten down too much, you know?
We're going through it now. That's why us on our
Are you?
end now we have the people who are making money by stealing jokes.
You have that going on in France?
Yeah,
Or in, France?
It's actually a French guy who's doing
It's
it.
not in.
I meant
it's-
with French comedy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not in Canada, but it's in France. And there was I own a club in Montreal, and I banned a guy this summer. He had stolen a bunch of material. There's a thing called the Jamel Comedy Club. It's basically
I like how even when you say comedy club, when you're saying something in French first, you have to say comedy club.
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Because that's the way you say it in French.
Yeah, I get it.
But this guy, he had stolen pretty much everything from Def Comedy Jam, and they did it there in France.
And just did it with French
Yeah,
language.
and not even with black dudes. Like, if you're going to steal Def Comedy Jam, give it to French black dudes. Like, there are black dudes in France, but it was all these Arab guys. So whenever you see, like, for 10 years in France, whenever you saw an Arab comic, they were all like Dave Chappelle. So there was
Really?
there was something very fucked up. And this summer, the guy was in my club. And then I found out, and I fucking lost my mind. And I tweeted my door guy, and I was like, "Get him the fuck out! Everyone he's with, you throw him out. I don't want him in the club."
It's a dangerous thing, right?
Yeah.
With comedy.
Yeah.
You're trying to create things. And basically a criminal can sneak in the middle of an artist colony and just start profiting off of your work.
Yeah.
And intimidating you and making you work for them, essentially.
Yeah.
There's something that sucks that people don't know, and that's what you went through with when you called out Carlos. No one cares. No one cares.
But
Like
they do now.
they do.
See,
but
the thing is,
they
like,
don't,
maybe
though.
your situation up there is different.
But the
than
only
it is down
reason
here.
they do now because it looks good. If it
What do you
didn't like banning Carlos now, like Carlos Mencia can't work anymore. That it makes them look like we respect comedians, but they don't really respect comedians. I don't think.
Well, who's they? And you sound like you're a conspiracy theorist. They don't respect us, man.
No, but
they're trying to get us, man.
Whenever I've called out joke thieves to festivals or networks, they're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do something about this, and then as soon as it blows over, they don't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, you're talking about festivals, right? You know, I think clubs would be much more likely to ban people, especially if someone who they're stealing from also works there. That's more likely to happen, especially if when in best case scenario, the person who's getting stolen from is already established and successful, so they could say something about it. The worst case scenario is someone who's established steals from open micers.
Yeah.
Which fucking does happen. And, if there's anything that could get someone to quit comedy, that might be one of them. That might be that might be, especially in the beginning,
Having
you're
your
an open micer
only good joke stolen,
by a person who does it
Yeah.
on television. And then you have to watch it on Comedy Central. A couple days later, you're like, what? And you remember that guy had been in the back of the room a couple weeks ago and watched your act. And what? And then you're like, what? Like, you can't even believe it.
There's a comic in France named Gad Elmaleh, who's he's in New York now, and he works a lot in English. He did he has these rumors, and I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want to get sued
You don't
again.
get sued again.
But I know that he's taken a couple. At first, he took a couple bits from American comics. Then he got caught, so he started stealing from French Canadian comics. And the last thing I heard he did was he had this contest for open micers, and he was like, my next comedy tour, send me your 3 best minutes on tape, and the best comic I'm gonna book to open for me. And then he started stealing from those open micers.
Oh, hilarious.
Which is that's such a garbage move.
It's a wacky move.
Well, doesn't sound like a good person.
Yeah, I don't, like, that's what I heard. I'm not sure it's true, but I saw him do a show once in France, and he was he's a rich dude. He's got his own private plane, and Yeah, he's got his own private plane. He was married to the Princess of Monaco, so he's got a lot of money. And
What's he doing?
He was doing a bit about he was doing a bit about how he can't afford an air conditioner in his apartment. And I was like, motherfucker, you have a kid with the Princess of Monaco. I can afford like multiple air conditioners. Fuck you.
Well, you know. It's not good, right?
You think though that people care? Like,
people do care. Some people care. Here's the thing: the problem is saying they don't. But if you say they don't care,
it sounds like saying black people are like this.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like saying all white people are racist.
Yeah.
Like it's you can't say it.
Yeah. Like I know the whole thing in France. A lot. The new generation of French comics are really angry about this. And there's this YouTube channel that you talked about here when you had. I think it was Tom Papa that was on. It's called Copy Comic, and they take like bits that they'll take a bit from a comic from here, and then they just to show that what's going on
that someone's
in
stealing.
France. Yeah.
Oh, right,
Just to educate the people.
Yes. Yeah.